Makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins tailgates, where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL-wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait. It's your fate, this is the Fins tailgate. Now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
What is happening, Dolphin fans, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Couple things I'm going to go through today. I'm going to just do a little bit more in-depth on some stuff, a little bit more drawn-out takes on what's going on with the Dolphins these days. Before we get going, make sure you guys are hitting the like button on the way in, sharing the page, inviting people you know. We don't just do Dolphin stuff. You know, we get messy around here. We have a good time. So even if you're not a Dolphins fan, you can ask some of the Bills fans, the Patriots fans, and the Jets fans that frequent the channel. It's fun over here. So hit the like button, subscribe. And yeah, I'm trying to get some more shows in, trying to be a little bit more regular with the program like we used to do a year or so ago. New things to talk about, that's for sure. Before we get rocking and rolling, I'm going to mention this Canes game yesterday. There's some quick thoughts on the Miami Hurricanes versus the Indiana Hoosiers. I mean, what a hell of a game, right? Everybody should be able to hold their head high. If anyone, first of all, college football has figured it out. The playoff bracket, the single elimination playoffs that they got, the bowl games, they still got some stuff. I think there needs to be some more teams, a little bit more competition early on. But if there was ever any doubt of two teams playing for the championship for all the peanuts, you could tell it was most certainly the right two football teams. Incredible show all the way around. That blocked punt, I thought it was over at that point. Completely, the Canes respond. Indiana goes for on 4th and 5, and Mendoza shows everybody. I mean, listen, dude, you never really know with these guys, right? And I've watched Mendoza in the playoffs, and I thought, all right, this guy's really it. But man, for a performance that he put on, busted lip, taking a beating, the Canes were, dude, they were all over him, and the toughness, it was a marvel. I mean, honestly, they earned it. The Canes had that last drive, and they were moving, and how it comes. A little bit of an underthrow. There was miscommunication. I guess the guy was supposed to look back for the ball or whatever. Doesn't matter. Interception to end the game. And, say what you want, Canes fans. I'm not sour grapes about it. They went further than I thought they would get. They caught fire late and, head of steam forward, and it was impressive of a season. And I think it's just a sign of more things to come. A lot of the best athletes in college football and in the NFL are all from South Florida. They all grew up in the neighborhood. And if you could have your choice to play on the Canes and be on the Canes team, that's worth something, some glory. I think the transfer portal is going to be lit. I think recruiting is going to be lit, and I think the program is set up really, really good. Fletcher and Malachi Tony both coming back is key. But again, awesome. All right, shout out to everybody in chat coming here. I know it's a little impromptu show. Hit the like, everybody. Daniel Barry in the building. What's up, Daniel Barry? Salute, my brother. Ghost, what's going on? J Miami Sports, what's going on, buddy? Hit the like button. Hooked Up Joe, member in the crib. What's up, Hooked Up Joe? Appreciate you, dog. Big Toes, Mondi. What's up, Mondo? Hit the like button. So let's kind of just get right in. I got a couple of things. Gonna try to keep it. You guys know I got things planned. I don't just sit in front of this microphone and read chat and BS. I've got an itinerary, dog. I'm trying to give in real content. And sometimes we'll come up here and BS, maybe as football season's sliding and we a little slow. Maybe on the weekends we'll do some late night club exhales on Saturday or something like that. Maybe Ali won't do them. Maybe we'll do a little something else. Go back to BYOB Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time, kick it, open the panel, have some fun. But I'm trying to get a little bit more regular here with the program. So bear with me, folks, and hit the like button. Appreciate y'all. Night Wolf, what's up, dog? It says at Big Toes, see? Well, oh, no, wait, that's my dyslexia. It looks like it says Big Toes with I'm dyslexic, so. Late night exhale, yeah, remember? Hit the like button, everybody. All right, so let's I got you. But it looked, my dyslexia saw Big Toes, so I'm calling it Big Toes. Fuck it. That's it. All right. Let's just crack this bitch open, boys. Because I've got a couple of things to go through. Let's start it off with this Jeff Hafley hire. Okay. Now, let's kind of get into it, right? This Jeff Hafley hire comes. Now, forest through the trees. We hired John Sullivan, and we're going to double back to John Sullivan stuff, too. We got a lot to go through. The Dolphins, it kind of seemed that this was our choice all along. Yeah, they went through their process. Yeah, they, do the things and stuff like that. And, they're interviewing these guys and those guys and stuff like that. But that second setup interview in person, once Harbaugh was off the table, by all accounts, Mike Tomlin is not coaching next year. And there is some real talk about him not going to come back to coaching. Like he might do that Gruden route, or Gruden, Monday Night Football or something like that. Like he might be looking for new ventures in his. Listen, cash in, homie, right? Make close to the same money for half the work and certainly half the headache. Whatever. But you guys are all online. You see it. The content creators, everybody's kind of mentioning Jeff Hafley. Like you'll go down the list, but Jeff Hafley, you seem to like have a little bit more information about. People are talking about him a little bit more. The Dolphins diehards in the community, start doing what they do when they feel things are, evident. They start betting on the sure thing. They start, Jeff Hafley's the guy. Yeah, he's going to be the dude. They start championing it, and that's cool. It's not the guy I wanted. I'm not going to, no cap, right? It's not the dude I wanted. To me, we're going to go first-time head coach again. I would be more comfortable with the name recognition of Kubiak or Shula. I thought these were better. The way freaking Kubiak's offense is running, that's the guy I want. Honestly, we're going to find out who's better. Is it going to be Kubiak's offense or freaking Shula's defense that comes up with the win? We could have waited. But by all accounts, this character, this Jeff Hafley, was getting a lot of looks, a lot of interviews. He was set up to go meet the Titans. He was set up to go meet the Raiders. He was set up to go meet the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, Dolphins kind of feeling the pressure a little bit. Stefanski's gone, Harbaugh's gone, and now you got a mixed bag of nuts of guys minus Saleh and Mike McDaniel and Brian Flores. 2 out of the 3 of those coaches you've already had in the building. Mike McCarthy? Dust off of Mike McCarthy. You're gonna call up McCoy? I mean, what are you gonna do? So really, they were looking at first-time head coaching hires, and their decision was obviously made. It just seemed like such, right? It seemed like their decision was made, and they wanted to do their due diligence. Here, I feel like it just feels all the same. Either way, right? The ground, it was already coming out, and I have people close to the Miami Dolphins facility. Over the years, I've had people very plugged in, but still always have friends around the facility and with the team and stuff like that. And you guys know, you guys are Dolphin fans. You guys are diehards. You kind of start hearing it a little more. The local radio guy talks about it a little more. There's just a little bit more spotlight. It's almost like they're softening us up for the inevitability of whatever decision they want. And then you also will notice that there's the people on X and Twitter and some other content creators that are kind of champion a guy that is an obvious choice that the Dolphins want, but it hasn't been made yet. So there's this, I would like to call it collusion between the fans and the organization. I think it's whatever. Me now, and I don't know how all y'all are, but me now, everything the Dolphins do, I take with a grain of salt. I don't necessarily immediately co-sign. I'm not, my blind loyalty to the football team and its business dealings is gone. I'm a diehard Dolphin, dude. I've got stuff since I'm a little kid, my whole life. Paid attention to this team, everything, right? So again, South Florida native, like really plugged in, a lot of games and a lot of buildings, Orange Bowl since a little kid, Marina, I mean, all that stuff. And but this Ross era, I don't like how they do business. I don't like what they do. Now, this Jeff Hafley hire is the one they wanted. It's the one the people who come out in front kind of usher in, the who convince the fan base. They're going to juice it up, and I'm going to do it too, because honestly, it's nothing against Jeff Hafley, right? The guy is getting his opportunity, his first opportunity in the NFL to be a head coach of a football team. I'm gonna let it present itself to how successful he will or will not be, and then I'll make judgments in real time on the guy. I'm not going to hold any of the piss poor dealings with this program since Ross's hiring, the mismanagement of absolute everything, from the first coach he hired in Sperano and how he fired him on the plane and tried to hire Harbaugh underneath his feet, to whatever kind of Bullygate scandal we had, the Brian Flores scandal with picks on the boat, the Joe Philbin dark ages, right? Like this is what we have for the Dolphins to now, with Mike McDaniel, a guy I wasn't really high on. And, I thought kind of handling it the same way with the Hafley guy. I'm very high on him, but I'm not down on him either. And I let it present itself, and really hit the like button, everybody. He's kind of, over time, Mike McDaniel won my respect, and I understood it. I didn't know how successful it'd be, and it certainly isn't the way I would build a football team, but I seen how it worked, seen how he worked, and hopefully as a coach that would be heading into fourth and fifth and sixth year, he could and get a chance to draft a new quarterback or, try it again. He inherited stuff. He built it up as he went. He had this quarterback, and maybe it could have got it right this time. It'd be no different if we were bringing in Robert Saleh or Stefanski in here from where Mike McDaniel was inevitably going to step in his next year as a head coach. Like, this would be the same thing, right? So, to me, I wouldn't have fired Mike McDaniel. I wouldn't, and I also wouldn't have hired Jeff Hafley. But let's kind of think of exactly how we got here. How did we get here? Right now, there's overreaction on both sides for the Jeff Hafley hire. There's people that are like, this guy's a lame duck. He's going to be a loser. Maybe they're rolling in the tank with a guy who's GM's, is buddies with the GM who they can have a little whisper, or just tank this team in the grounds, get a top draft pick. I'll make sure you're the job here. I don't know. And then there's like, this is the dude. He's going to be a culture guy. He's respected. Did you hear what Richard Sherman said about him? I remember the same propaganda nonsense. Do you remember with Deebo Samuel? I was playing the Deebo Samuel video too. I was showing you guys, as you know, just because you can trot out a NFL player that is well respected by a lot of fans across the board, that gives a ringing endorsement of somebody, doesn't mean it's a good hire. It just means it's fodder, and it's fine. I'm here to play the game. I'm a content creator, right? Holla, hit the like button. But how did we get here? Not how we get to this exact point. That's a much longer episode. But how we get to the hire of Jeff Hafley? Well, we got to kind of go back to the beginning, right? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to travel down a little bit of memory lane. Just a wee bit. Hit the like button, everybody. Shout out to everyone in chat. See Cat for Life in here. CCRR, somebody important. Ghost, everybody. What's up, everyone? Hit the like button. Thank you guys for coming through. Share, notification bell, all that stuff. So how did we get here? Let's travel back to the beginning just a little bit, and I'll explain some things. Now, 2024, bad season. Injuries, came up short, all that stuff. Everyone remembers that heading into the 2025 season, Chris Grier especially was a little bit more candid about his approach and what he was going to do and the expectations on this football team. I didn't forget. A lot of people did. He said, I am going to be making all the decisions now. And they've conceded to a soft reset a little bit, meaning that they weren't, mailing in. We knew they weren't spenders. We knew the team was losing talent. We knew the team was robbing Peter to pay Paul. We shed talents like Jalen Ramsey for Minka Fitzpatrick. Say what you want. Not the same. Jonnu Smith. But also in that, Minka Fitzpatrick. Darren Waller. Expectations were changed. Now, you guys who have been following me for a few years, you know that I was always kind of a Chris Grier supporter. Not because I loved his draft picks, not because I thought he was anything, but I also said, and I've said this for years, I think Chris Grier has one of the toughest jobs in the world. It's not just a general manager position. And John Eric Sullivan, if he doesn't know yet, he's going to learn it soon. We operate a little differently in here in Miami. And you guys can say, oh, that's not true. Well, I beg to fucking differ. It's been this same template since Ross got here and how they handle business. And if you don't believe me, there's not a coach who's got it. Every 3 years, every fourth year, it's just true, dude. It's true. I know you guys want to lie to yourself and believe that Ross and this Dolphins organization is without flaw. And it's just not. In fact, I can, every 3-4 years, I can point to some amazingly big scandal that we are infamous about. Everyone talks about. That's all there is to it. So, anywho, Chris Greer always had a tough job, how I saw it. I also knew that, Tua Tagovailoa was on his last potential year. So was Chris Greer. So was Mike McDaniel. And I said, look, I would much rather keep the GM, keep the head coach, and get rid of this quarterback. I was certain he isn't the guy. And honestly, I know what I did see out of Chris Greer. Chris Greer tore this team down, rebuilt it, had to change head coaches during the rebuild. And you can say about his draft picks that he's missed. You could say about players they didn't re-sign. But I'm sorry, that 2025, 2020, or 2023, 2024, 2025, the window they set themselves up, it was a 2-year breakdown, draft a quarterback, build it back up in the first year of his draft, and then hopefully, spend the money and be in a 3-year window. They did it how they wanted. And the team, by talent measure, was pretty damn close. With the weapons, with the coach, with the scheme. To me, the only place they fell short mightily was the quarterback position. Through health, through abilities, through arm strength, through talent. But that's, such as the NFL, right? Tons of teams do that. Other teams, they say, hey, look, I'm going to build mitigating it. And they kind of look like the Titans did with Ryan Tannehill and Marcus Mariota. And now how does that look with a quarterback that's way better than Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill? Either way. So fine. What ends up happening? Fans at the first home game are flying banners. Fire Chris Greer. Fire Mike McDaniel. They did it a couple times. I noticed no fire Tua on that banner. The same people who were recognized as the Tua believers, the Tua sexuals, the Tuaneers, the Tuanon, the colluders, the ones who are behind it, the ones who championed it, the ones who fought for it, they were more than happy to have Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer fall on the sword for a potentiality to save Tua. Call it what it is, dude. Call it what it is. They chose a quarterback over their own fandom. I seen them do it. So have y'all. You know they're out there. You know who these guys are. And then when it became all too evident that no one could deny that Tua wasn't the guy, that he wasn't going to work out, only then did they pivot. But they also still wanted Mike McDaniel. They hated him for it. They hated Mike McDaniel when he said, they're going to work with Tua. We're going to figure this out no matter what. We might make a quarterback change. And then they switched up and they won and they beat Buffalo. Switched up the way they were playing the game. Said, we ain't going to let Tua throw more than 20 times. Look just like that Brian Flores fucking limited offense where they didn't want Tua to do too much. Because he'll throw you and lose you the game. Tua looked like second year, third year Tua Brian Flores. He looked just the same. But y'all still wanted to fire Mike McDaniel. Flying these banners over there while never calling out the real problem. The real thing that needed to be changed around here. And it cost Chris Greer his job, which, fine. Chris Greer's been around a long time. You want to let him go, fine. But then it doesn't cost Mike McDaniel his job. Tua gets benched. Ownership is behind Mike McDaniel. And in true Stephen Ross Miami Dolphins fashion, they fuck him over in the end. They say he's our guy. He's in there doing exit meetings with players, and they bust in and say, "Whoa. Remember I told you we were going to keep you around? Well, we're fucking not. I got a guy named Troy Aikman in the building we just hired. The new guy wants you gone." In true Miami Dolphins fashion, they do him dirty. Fine. Now, I also said at the beginning of the season that if you were, I want everyone fired. Mike McDaniel. I'd rather let Tua go in it. But if you want to fire, fine. But I don't want just Chris Greer. I don't want just Mike McDaniel. I don't just want Tua. I want from Garfunkel to the gardener fired. Everybody. Get them all up out of here. But again, in true Miami Dolphins fashion, it's a half measure. It's a Hafley measure. They didn't, go full tilt. Yeah, okay, they're firing their area scouts. Yeah, they let go of McKenzie, who's been around here as one of the top scout leading guys. Yeah, they got a new GM and ultimately got a new head coach. But the guys who everyone from head coach down answered to, Beal, Garfunkel, these are still the guys that run the show. And just like Chris learned how to navigate these waters over 20 years, we're going to see how good our new GM, John Eric Sullivan, can. It says hired as new GM. It's funny. Supposed to be new head coach. That's fucking funny. The guy they hired as new GM is going to find out real quick that, yeah, it's his show. He runs it. But when it comes time to make decisions with money, when it comes time to make decisions with picks, extensions, free agents, hires, no, okay. Some guys, they'll let him hire his coaches that they want, stuff like that. But you know what? There might be a guy already on the coaching staff that they don't want to let go of. They like him. He's really good at his job, and they're not going to make you do it, but they're going to make you understand that you have to do it. Just how this team rolls, dude. It's how it's always been. And you know what? Hafley ain't going to come in here swinging his fucking dick around saying, you got to hire this one, fire this one. He's grateful to have the job, I'm sure. It's just very interesting to me. Shout out to Nightwolf. McDaniel signs with the Chargers. Wow. Is that 100%? Because I seen somewhere that McDaniel signed with the Chiefs earlier in the day, but it was fake. Be interested to see. I think, you turn it around. What's up, Drew? I see you over there, buddy. What's going on? Jimmy, what's going on, Jimmy? Kobayashi, Miami kid. What's going on, everybody? Hit the like button. So, John Eric Sullivan's going to learn that, yeah, you know what? You might want to make this pick with this first round draft pick, but you're going to have to really convince the other guys at the table, the non-football guys, as Brian Flores would say. You have to convince them why not only is this the right guy, but that the guy they know is profitable, the guy they want, isn't the wrong guy. That's the facts. That's the facts. And that's the water in which our new GM and our new head coach are going to have to figure out and navigate. And speaking of new GM, Dolphins yesterday or day before, I can't remember, released this interview with our new general manager. And you know what? Rather than just showing a couple of clips, rather than just, let's go ahead and watch this. Let's give a little breakdown here. Let's listen to what our new general manager. Now, this is before the hire of our head coach, because so there'll be some stuff about that. But let's just listen in to, what his plans are, who this mofo is. They got him sitting with Travis Wingfield, who still hates El Capitan, still has me blocked. I can't even remember exactly what I did to Travis Wingfield personally, but I know he and others in the building. Actually, I know exactly what happened with Travis Wingfield. Him and others on Twitter and on YouTube, they hate me. They hate this channel. They can tolerate some of the other channels that do a little bit of trolling and stuff, but they don't like absolute, real, born, bred, diehard Dolphins fans that can't be controlled. Can't be controlled. They hate that.
All right, new Dolphins general manager, John Eric Sullivan, man. Welcome in. Thanks for your time today.
I appreciate you having me.
Not a bad setting for an interview, right? Pretty cool digs. What's your early impression so far of Miami and the work environment?
Better weather. We'll start there. A lot of really good people. A lot of people have extended a helping hand, made sure that when I come through the door, I have what I need. And I can tell there's a lot of people here that are eager to build a winner and kind of get this thing going and ready to work hard. And we got a lot of work ahead of us. There's no doubt about it. But I think the process will take us where we want to go, but the people that are involved in that process are equally, if not more important. And I can tell right from the bat, we got a really good culture and group of people in place to help us get going.
Yeah, myself and Dolphins fans are excited to hear more about that process. We'll get to that here in just one second. But what does it mean to you to get this opportunity? First time GM, what's the opportunity mean to you?
It means everything. I grew up in this business. My dad's a longtime NFL coach, right around the 30-year mark. I grew up around the game. I think anytime you get a chance to put your fingerprints on something and build something special, along with a lot of other really good people, that's a special opportunity. I was raised in Green Bay in my football career. I believe wholeheartedly in the process that I'm bringing through the door. And quite frankly, I hope long after I'm gone, that process is still in place here, much like Ron Wolf brought it to Green Bay and it's still in place there. I would say that's my hope, that we win a bunch of games. And when I take off from here, that the fingerprints are still in place and they keep that going down the road for long-term sustained success.
So I'm glad you.
Now, let's hold him up. He's saying the right things. He's saying the right things. I mean, this is kind of coach speak. It's kind of football speak, I will give this to Sullivan. He definitely, obviously through his father, has some connections and stuff, but he took the long road traveled. It's not like this isn't like a guy who is getting a leg up for no reason here. Right? He's not, this isn't like a friendly hire. I think the guy, by all measures of whom gets general managing jobs, he's got the resume to fit it. It's not just a blah, blah, blah kind of thing. So, but he is kind of doing a little bit of the canned answered things and gotcha,
Mentioned Ron Wolf in the process because Ron Wolf, Ted Thompson, Gutekunst, and yourself now here with Miami Dolphins. You've spoken about the opportunity to be a part of the proven process over sustained time, right? Building a sustained winner. How would you summarize that process? And what are the key takeaways you have from your time there that will carry forward into this role?
We're going to draft and develop and retain our own. It's important to us that we raise.
Draft and develop and paying our own. We're going to draft and develop and pay our own. Not groundbreaking. Pretty certain that's what friggin' Chris Greer said twice. 2 times. when he was the part of the three-headed monster of Chris Greer and what the hell's his name, Mike Tannenbaum, and I forget what else. You know, they had like this whole fucking. They're always reinventing the wheel which way football organizations are done in Miami. These guys are, we're gonna, you know what, y'all been doing it this way for a long time, but I got a better idea. Anyhow, draft, develop, pay our own guys. Okay. What if the developing isn't working? What if you don't have the right coaches in place to develop properly? What if you desperately need a plug-in player to get you where you're trying to go? You're telling me, just want to say this right now. Fine. He might build a great development program. He might draft very well. But you're telling me that when the hot name item isn't available on the free agent market, that you're not going to have these fans screaming, F them picks. Oh, we were going to build through the rebuild and we were going to do it the right way this time, finally. But oh my God, I want to do it differently. I want to go back to everything I always done. Like, how are you going to stop a Tyreek Hill being available? An Ndamukong Suh? I mean, I'm just saying, dude, like, his heart's in the right place. But when you talk to Brandon Beal on your way to the office, he's like, listen, we got some big news. We're hearing that so-and-so is getting traded. So-and-so is getting traded. They're willing to trade him. We're first in. I know what you're thinking. We might, you know, I get it. It's not in need, but man, how much better could our team be if we have this 4-time Pro Bowler, all pro, blah, 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 on the football team. And just so you know, the owner badly wants him. Decision's made, dude. You better go in there and say what they want you to hear. That's how the Miami Dolphins operate and a top down. They hire people that they want to have the job because ultimately they want them to tell them, I'm going to pay you to tell me what I want to hear. And then ultimately when your back's up against the wall and you just can't even lie to me no more, you're like, no, it's going to be a good day. And I'm looking at this problem. It'll be a good day. It's just kind of what it is, dude. Let's continue on with this interview. Again, I'm not going to hold anything against Sullivan either.
Our own, because that's culture, right? We don't want a team full of mercenaries. That creates problems on multiple levels. But then within that, it's who you infuse into that locker room. You know, we want people who love football, who want to be the best that they can be, who are selfless, who are good teammates. And then we're going to use every player or every avenue of player acquisition to supplement this roster. We'll be very intentional and deliberate on how we go about it in free agency, because that can be dangerous waters if you don't handle it the right way. But that's how we'll move. You know, it'll be built through the draft, retain our own, supplement in other avenues of free agency and practice squad steals and all that goes with it, waiver wires, and build this team out best we can. But at every avenue, we will strengthen this roster if given the opportunity.
You know, some teams around the league have this like universally recognized player prototype, right? Like if the Dolphins develop that under your watch, what do you want that to be? Like what type of player do you want pundits to look at a player and say, that right there, that's a Miami Dolphin?
I think mental toughness, physical toughness, you start there from a character standpoint. And again, a burning desire to want to be the best.
Real quick, what was the question he asked him? When people get Miami Dolphins players from your team, what did fucking Travis Winfield just ask him? When people are looking at a player from the Dolphins and they're getting him like, yeah, that's what a Miami Dolphins player looks like. What?
In this roster if given the opportunity.
What?
You know, some teams around the league have this like universally recognized player prototype, right? Like if the Dolphins develop that under your watch, what do you want that to be? Like what type of player do you want pundits to look at a player and say, that right there, that's a Miami Dolphin?
I think
pundits. Shout out to John Eric Sullivan, who understood and kind of rephrased. I think what he was trying to say is, what's the identity of your football players that other people will recognize as Miami Dolphins identity? Like, what does that look like? Like, what the hell is he even talking about?
Mental toughness, physical toughness, you start there from a character standpoint.
I can't even ask a
a
question.
burning desire to want to be the best that you can be and win. That's what we're all here to do. At the end of the day, if you broke it down to one word, we're here to win. And then within that, our division runs through Buffalo and New England and New York, cold weather places. There's a saying in our business, fast gets slow, but big doesn't get small. So
I love that saying, fast gets slow, but big don't get small. That's an old school saying. That's that old Dallas Cowboys saying. I see why Aikman liked the guy using that old fucking.
understand, like, we're not going to sacrifice speed and explosion and skill for a bunch of big stiff guys, but we are going to have substance to us at all levels of our team, at corner, at receiver, at running back, and certainly up front. We will build this team. It starts with the quarterback, and then we will build this team from the inside out. We got to be dominant on the offensive line, dominant on the defensive line, and then explosive and athletic on the perimeter where we can attack all three levels of the field, and it gives that offensive coordinator flexibility to call the game the way that he wants to call the game, most importantly in any element.
Adaptable to what the
All right. Said a lot of good shit right there. Honestly. Said most important thing is the quarterback. And then a team that can, overcome any element. I vibe with that. At least he knows the fucking job. It's about the quarterback, buddy. You build from the quarterback on. And that's exactly what he said. You build from the quarterback on, and then we need a team that can survive any element.
opponent can show you as well on the other side of the football. What's the process in IDing a player that fits all that criteria? I know it's a lot, but what's the process of trying to find players that fit that criteria?
It starts in the summer. You're watching their junior, sophomore tape, depending on what level of player he is. So you start there, and then you go through your college process in the fall of going to games, talking to a lot of different people about the makeup of this player. I always refer to it as football character. What makes this guy tick? Where does he come from in his personal life? What experiences has he overcome? What adversity has he overcome? And then you watch hours and hours and hours full of tape, to put a value on this player. And then obviously you have the second part of it with a lot more touch points, all-star games, combine, pro days. And the more information that comes in, the clearer the picture gets. And then eventually, we'll go through draft meetings. We'll have a lot of discussions with our scouts who have spent years at this point identifying these players and doing a lot of work on these players. And we'll set the board, and we'll go pick players that we think, number one, will help this football team. Look, at the end of the day, you got to be able to play, right? You got to have talent to come in here and make a difference for this team. But then we also want to make sure it's the right kind of guy that we're infusing into that locker room from a character standpoint.
It's a long process. You have to love it, right? You have to love it to do this job effectively.
Yeah, I think if you don't have a passion for this game and for this job in particular, you'll drown, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of late nights. It's not a 9 to 5. And if you're passionate about it, you'll do well at it. But if you're not, you'll get identified pretty quickly.
So you've touched on this a few times in this interview already, but during the offseason, it can be so easy to get caught up on the shiny object, right? The big free agent sign, the early draft pick. But I once heard you better get your internal evaluations right, otherwise you've got no shot. What's the key to making that a reality, getting your internal evaluations mostly right?
Yeah, I mean, look, any good scout knows their team better than they know anything else. So, we've done the work there. There's a lot of work to do on this team. I've already talked to I've had a couple of the guys pop up to my office, and we've talked about what's important to them. We have 30 UFAs, just start there. You can't bring them all back. So there's going to be a lot of work to do, but we have some nice pieces as well. A-Chain's a difference maker. Brewer's a really good player. Brooks is a really good player on defense. There are building blocks and pieces. Patrick Paul is a good left tackle. There's pieces, but we have a lot of work to do in certain areas. It's our job to make sure that through the draft and through the other avenues, we're making this team as competitive as possible at every position, because competition drives the individual to excellence. I don't care if you're talking about on the gridiron or if you're talking about in the office place, if you don't have a lot of weak links, everybody else is going to get better. And that's our job as a personnel staff, and my job as a general manager to make sure that we're cultivating that day in and day out with our football team and then what goes on in that building.
My very next question.
Ooh, I noticed he named quite a bit of the stars on this football team. I did notice whom he didn't name. And also, talking about interesting, a lot of the names he put out there are guys I'm wondering what the Dolphins plan to do with. Obviously, he's got eyes on them and has some kind of idea what he plans to do for sure, as far as keeping them or not. But interesting things being said here by John Eric Sullivan. I'm kind of picking up what he's putting down a little bit. He's giving you guys a little bit of peek behind the curtain while also, not doing too much and tipping his hat. I am going to be interested to see some of these hires, some of these guys he plans to bring in here to help him make the decisions, because he's only one man. You can't watch all the film. You can't scout all the players. You can't make all the decisions. You gotta have your guys, which honestly is why Hafley's here. That's a guy he trusts, which makes sense. I told you guys that when he got hired. I get it. Let's continue.
Was Achane, Paul, Brewer, Brooks, and Waddle. I had Waddle.
Waddle. Waddle.
You rattle them off the top of your head, so it makes perfect sense.
Oh, look, even fucking Travis picked up on that. Oh, yeah, Waddle. Yeah, we like Waddle too. Yeah.
Because there's more players than that, obviously. But what does excite you most about the young core talent you have here? Because you mentioned speed and size, all the things you want to find on the football team. What about that core really excites you the most?
Yeah, I'll start with Jalen. He's as explosive of an athlete. His ability to create separation at the top of the route is as good as any. Obviously, Achane's production speaks for itself. He's a 3-down back. He can strike from anywhere on the field. He's a home run guy. Brewer's ability to play out in space, snap, step, reach, get to the second level. And he plays, quite frankly, much bigger than his listed size. So I would say we have a lot of explosion and athleticism within the people that we talked about there. And then Brooks is just a ball player, man. He can run. He's got great instincts. He'll strike you. That's an exciting group of guys to build around. And then Pat Paul is a huge man with length who
I noticed he started with Waddle, but I noticed a little bit of not the type of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not the type of shine on Waddle as I anticipated, honestly. He's there is a little bit of an interesting thing of whether or not Waddle will be the guy on this team, if he's going to stick around. What's going on, everybody? Hit the like button. What do you mean he lied? He didn't lie. He's not lying, Lou. There's not a lie being told in there. Yeah, Jamie, that was no endorsement. Listen, Waddle. He does the little Waddle dance like the penguin. Everybody knows who this is. They didn't even show a clip of Waddle. Life's a pageant, people.
And I talked to him the other day. I'm really excited about him as we go through the process of building the rest of that offensive line.
Achane, Aaron Brewer, Brooks.
I'm laughing because the person is he's so great. He's so great to get
awesome.
to know. And the way he plays in the field is not at all how he is as a person. It's a fun dichotomy there with him. So year one will be different for you here for the Dolphins than any other year that you have here with Miami, because it's the first year where you have to get to know your own roster. You're talking about watching film of Waddle and those guys, which I'm sure you did in Green Bay for all 32 teams, right? You're on top of all the rosters. But how does that process work?
Fucking Wingfield trying to shoehorn Waddle. Say Waddle, beat Waddle. Tell me you love Waddle. Wingfield, leader of Tuanon cult, Wingfield out here trying to freaking get the blood test from John Eric Sullivan to say he likes Waddle. He fucking won't shut the hell up about him.
Of building out your free agency plan, your draft board, and making sure all your internal evaluations are buttoned up.
Yeah, so our approach within the draft is the best player available approach. You really have no idea what your needs are going to be. And then as we build the board, subconsciously, with a team value approach, you'll stack it for need, if that makes sense, okay? And then within our free agency process, that'll be much more intentional about where we need to fill gaps. I believe in the free agency process, you chase difference makers.
I could talk philosophy with you all day. I love this kind of stuff. And I want to get a little more broad here, talking about league cycles, because recently this is a league where you got to get backers that can match up with all the speed that offenses.
Talking about league cycles. See, this is the shit that's pissing me off. Here I am trying to have just a calm fucking show. Now I'm fucking pissed. League cycles. This fucking new buzz term I'm starting to hear out here, especially coming from this league cycles. What the hell are you talking about, league cycles? How about the Patriots? What was their league cycle? They brought in a bum, drafted a quarterback, got a new head coach, and going to the fucking AFC Championship game. Where's the league cycle in that, dumbass? Who's the Travis Wingfield guy in fucking New England? I bet you they don't even got one of these dorks. I'm so sick of this shit, dude. Sick of it. League cycle. Shut the fuck up, dude. It's football, man. You put together a team, you boys sell out, everybody fucking works their ass off, and you execute. The fuck you thought? League cycle. What do we gotta? We gotta wait. We gotta. You know what happens to the teams in college football that wait on league cycles? They fucking fall apart because NIL's changed it, motherfucker, every year. You can't even hold the guys no more. You draft them or you get them out of high school. They come for a year. They don't play. They're outie. Or even worse, you draft them, you train them up. They're really great, and then someone pays them more money in the outie. League cycle. Fuck it.
And now we're seeing this return of the power run element, right? And offenses are trying to combat the speed on defense by getting bigger. What are your thoughts on the cyclical nature of offensive football and where we're at in terms of power run game, short, high percentage throws, playing shell?
I thought it was about the other thing, and it's even worse. It's even worse. It's not even about that point. He's talking about, now it's going back to more run football, and it's more pass football. It's more run and more pass. The fuck are you talking about? These guys outside of Tua, everybody's getting 5,000. Dude. Cycle. It's football. There's only two ways to move the ball down the fucking field, Wingfield. To run or to pass. Some people lean on the pass. Other people lean on the run. Some years, the people that lean on the pass are more successful than the people that lean on the run. In fact, name me one team that leans on the run in the NFL. Give me a football team that is run university in the NFL. That is the identity, the running team. Right? The Ravens? You want to say the Ravens? Ravens? What's it get the Ravens being the run team? I'll tell you what it got them. Fucking got their fucking coach fired. It's what it got them. This is what it got them. What the hell is Wingfield talking about? The day in which freaking, forget it. Let's just continue.
Light boxes where we are in 2026 in the NFL.
Yeah, I think the best teams have the ability to be multiple. That's the hardest to defend, right? So again,
I take my jacket off. Fuck, piss me off now. Team multiple. No shit. It's got to be the teams that are multiple. Because the game isn't just thrown to win. The game ain't just run to win. It's a game played on multiple facets.
and when I talk about getting big on the interior, it's not necessarily at the sacrifice of athleticism. We're not going to have stiff guys that can't move because we want to be multiple. We want to, if there are times in the game, we want to get thick on you and run more of a power gap scheme. We have the ability to do that. And then there's times we want to run off the ball, you know? And so, you know, I guess that would be my answer to that. I think the way that you build this team From a trait standpoint, you have to be very cognizant about being able to be multiple so that you give that coordinator on either side of the ball the flexibility to call the game the way that he wants you to call it. I don't think that, you have to affect the passer on defense, right? But I think you have to have 2 to 3 big men that when you got to go stop the run, you have the
All
ability
right.
to do
You know
that.
what?
You
Never
have a
mind.
bunch
Forget
of
it. I've had enough. Forget it. I can't do it anymore, boys. I can't do it. I'm sorry, everybody. I can't fucking do it no more. Well, you need big guys because you got to fucking be there, have anything for interior, but you also can't just have all big guys now. You gotta have, you also gotta have some small guys for some speed because you never know. You could be going against one of the throwing teams that need speed. These quarterbacks now are kind of mobile, so you gotta make sure you got some speed guys. But hey, don't get all speed guys because then you get pushed around by the other teams with the big guys. So you gotta kind of think that listen, if I got big guys, I can run, but now I'm kind of slow. If I got small guys, I'm fast, but now I'm kind of, weak. It's just you got to kind of be multiple and you got to kind of think about it in those ways. I mean, dude, I just feel like vomiting. It's just so much of the same crap. I mean, what are we talking about, dude? What are we talking about? Look, okay. I mean, first impressions, John Eric Sullivan, sharp as a tack. Buddy. Yeah, we getting petty, Capitan tonight. Fuck it, Night Wolf. I tried. I came in here trying to be cool. Apparently, I can't. I'm fucking getting pissed as I watch this video now. I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's true, Night Wolf. It's not a no, but that ain't our coach. That's our fucking GM. We don't. What are we gonna see this motherfucker at the podium twice a year? He gonna be behind the scenes. He gonna be doing all this stuff. He gonna be doing it. So I don't know. All right. Well, let's continue on. Lou, I don't know if we fucked yet, bro. I mean, again, he's got the canned answer shit as you would expect, right? He's got the canned answered shit as you'd expect. But he really gonna have to wait to throw around. I mean, the only thing, what the Dolphins, when they hire a GM, extensively, what we need, Dolphins fans, what we want and need, not what we not only, no, we want, but what we need because of the power structure through ownership and the collective and what's going on in the building and how this program has run. I mean, listen, you guys think it was hard 10 years ago in the Dolphins coaching staff. Now it's a well-oiled machine. There was all the power struggles and who's on the inside, who's the guys in the shadows that, you only see them when things are good and they're on the field and they're all getting the flowers. But when things are bad, they're standing next to the owner like, I can't believe this coach, this quarterback, this GM. And, everybody loses their jobs. But these guys come out on the other end with title changes, fucking higher positions, more power. Ultimately, what Dolphins fans need from their GM is a guy who can scout the best. He is the best. He's a glorified scout, talent evaluator, collector of things. That's who it is. A guy that has data, that has eye, and knows what he's looking at per person, per player, per position, with an overall idea of this is a talented football player. This is what he could run. This is what we could use him for with the coach that I have. And he's got to hit at a higher rate. That's it. Because what else are they doing? It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Now that Jeff Hafley is around these parts, John Eric Sullivan, he's here. Short while after being here, he brings his homie in, which I understand, right? Like, think about it. If you're Hafley, if you're Eric Sullivan, and you're like, oh, I got to hire a coach. I'm just here. The damn team has got no cap. We've got players to assess. We've got an identity we're going to try to change. We're not running that Mike McDaniel system. I mean, they're going to run a version of it, right? Like, they're West Coast guys too. But in that same aspect, there's going to be some changes. We need bigger boys around here. We need bigger guys. I don't need a 310-pound guy. I need a 321-pound guy. So, anywho, these boys got a lot of work to do. They got players to assess. Who are they keeping? Who are they firing? So, first thing he's got to do is get a head coach. Well, I'm new in the building. I don't even know fucking everybody's name. How many names do you think John Eric Sullivan knows right now of people who are in the offices, a part of the organization that will be around? Like, does he even know his secretary's name yet? I know her name. I know who his secretary is. Anywho, my point is that so him hiring someone he knows in Hafley, sensible, friendly face, someone you can trust. Doesn't surprise me that John Eric Sullivan brought in someone he knows closely and recently. I could be somebody I kind of know or knew someone real well a couple years ago, but nah, fuck all that. I was working with this dude and seen and talked to him, and we're just going to be somewhere else doing the same shit as he's got the head coaching power and not a defensive coordinator. It makes sense because I got to imagine John Eric Sullivan is not an idiot. He's not a dummy. And I'm not a dummy. These Dolphin fans aren't dummies. I know these boys ain't dummies. These guys that are up there. Word is out on Miami. Word's out. These coaches, these GMs, these players, everybody knows how it works here. Is that something you're willing to be a part of? You're not asked to come and be the general manager of Miami. You're asked to come be Miami's general manager. Let me rephrase that for you. Let me repeat it. You're not asked to be the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. You're asked to come and general manage for them. That's what. Now, John Eric Sullivan might say, hey, look, yeah, I'm a team guy. I can make it work. I know how it works because I promise you he knows how it works. And to think, hey, yeah, maybe this guy, maybe that guy, but Hafley I know. And in what will be a volatile, hard-working, lot to get done in a short while. I need to start with somebody I know. Somebody I know I can work with. So at least I ain't got to get through this awkward, hey, what's our vision? What are we thinking about? What are we thinking about trying and doing? What do we want? No, I was on the Packers. I've fucking helped get players for the Packers and we do football. You were on the Packers. You know how we do shit. I'm going to try to kind of do that here in Miami. Help me out, home dog. Help me out, home slice. That makes the sense. So I'm not opposed to bringing a Hafley in. Whether it'll work or not. I know, guys. I seen Mike McDaniel to the Chargers. Actually, here, let's do it right now for everybody watching and freaking out. Hit the like button, everyone, because we have breaking news. It's a TF breaking news. announced just under 30 minutes ago, Mike McDrip is taking his designer sunglasses and his shoes with tags on them all the way to the West Coast, where he will now be a offensive coordinator underneath the head coach that the Dolphins would have murdered Mike McDaniel for. To the head coach, Stephen Ross would have paid an Epstein's Island ransom for. Jim Harbaugh will finally go and coach under what is the best quarterback he's been a part of since Matt Ryan. Best quarterback he's going to be around since Matt Ryan. That's a fact. Now, can he, with his infinite friendly wisdom, can Mike McDaniel change the course of Justin Herbert? Can he do what he did with Tua? Made Tua look great, because we know he ain't great. Can he do that with all the talent that Herbert possesses? Man, oh man, oh man. Buccaneers are pulling their little bit of hair out of their head that they've got left, because Tua is out of here. His guy who got it. And now Herbert, the guy we should have took, is getting coached by this. I mean, look, Chris Greer's looking across to LA right now going, how the fuck wasn't that me? How did I not have freaking Jim Harbaugh, Mike McDaniel as my OC with fucking Justin Herbert? Shit. That's what Chris Greer's looking at. Look like somebody just walked over your grave. Hit the like button, everybody. Let's continue on. So, yeah, I understand why Hafley brought his boy in, or excuse me, Sullivan brought his boy in. But there's a lot of things to be considered at this point. What players are going to get traded? What players are going to get cut? What players are going to get extended or re-signed? What do you do with Jalen Waddle? Do you just ride the contract? Do you try to trade him? Is he even a part of this type of offense? If you're talking about being tough and strong and all that shit, better get Waddle the fuck up out of here, because I don't think I've watched him take a tackle in the last 2 years and not have to come off the football field for at least a play. A lot of times a series. I don't know if he can catch a fucking right-handed spinning football. I watched him drop a bunch of dimes from several right-handed quarterbacks in these parts. He certainly ain't bigger, faster, stronger, not getting smaller bullshit. Get his ass up out of here. He's small and quick and weak. And I hate to say that. I don't know if he's weak, but I mean, how many times I got to watch this guy catch the ball, just get brought down, hits the ground, and be like, my ribs, my shoulder, my finger. God. Like, geez, dude, the kid. He come back and he'll catch a couple more, but if he doesn't go to the ground on his own recognizance or get away, if someone brings him to the ground, he's got to go to the sideline. Fucking Achane. What do they do with Achane? Because if I'm Devon Achane, I told you guys this already. I said trade him now. Trade Devon Achane now. Before the draft. Trade him right after the draft. I don't care. Get everything. Because Devon Achane ain't stepping on the football field for less than $30 million. I think he would. If I'm the Devon Achane, I'd be like, bitch, I ain't just a running back. I was one of your best wide receivers. I want $45 million in guarantees. And he deserves it. He deserves it. You think Brooks, being the Dolphins' leading tackler, being a Pro Bowl, wasn't he? Yeah, Pro Bowl selected, the only guy from the Pro Bowl. You think he ain't be like, hey, we need to renegotiate, my friend. We need to renegotiate, sir. Brewer. These are the names the guys talked about in there. You going to re-sign these guys? You going to trade them? I think you should keep Brewer. Is Brewer the size profile that you want? Fitzpatrick, what do you do? Tyreek, what do you do? Tua. I mean, I'm assuming he's cut, right? Tua's out of here. I love Achan too, hooked up Joe. He's the exact type of guy I would want on my football team. But okay. Achan gets a 4-year, $55 million contract with $40 million guaranteed. That's cheap. That's cheaper than I think you'll get him for. Personally. But that's on the low side. You're going to pay him $10 million a year. New money now. This starts not this year. So it's a 3-year extension on a 4-year new deal where he gets $40 million guaranteed. You don't have to start paying on it till next year, but right away, that means you're going to break up $40 million minimum over 3 years for Achan. You know you don't have a quarterback or a football team or what the fuck's going on this year. So right away, $10 million, you're going to just chalk up to the game, baby. Then what? You're drafting a quarterback next year. So the rookie quarterback, rookie quarterback, you got Achan. He's got a weapon. Kind of shaky ground. Sophomore year, Achan go down. Now he's a couple years in the game. Achan wants to renegotiate. I don't know. Whatever. I'd have to see what they would do as far as the deal, what kind of money, what kind of options, what kind of whatever. But something is being said here. And that's what's not being said. Is Tua Tagovailoa gone? And now the rumblings begin. Malik Willis to Miami? Is that what we're doing? I'm just asking for a friend, baby. What's he, 27? Malik Willis, what, he's going to be the leader of our franchise? Malik Willis just a hot name because he's a free agent. We got a Packers GM. Got a Packers coach as our head coach. We know there's no Tua. I mean, if you're talking about Ewers and Dolphin fans might go, well, I would like to stick it out with Ewers. These guys don't owe nothing to Ewers. I mean, no one ever did, but like they didn't scout him. They didn't pick him. What if they never even looked at him? What if they don't even like him? If they did look at him and didn't even like, what are you getting? Do they bring in Malik Willis with the pure intent of handing him the job? Yeah, we want quarterback competition. I heard him in there. But if you go and sign Malik Willis for a couple mil a year, you're not going to put in, you're going to give him every chance to start. See what I'm saying? Also, as these rumors about Malik Willis come down, how the fuck we paying for it? You gonna sign Malik Willis to a 3-year deal? Malik Willis, 3 years, 30 mil. You're gonna give Malik Willis the same amount of money to come to Miami as you could probably give plus another year and 10 mil for Achan to stay. I'll tell you this right now, as I just went through saying we should trade Achan. If they do trade Achan, but sign Malik Willis, everything John Eric Sullivan just said is bullshit. Complete bullshit about keeping our own, signing the guys that are in-house with talent, and not filling it up with mercenaries. In one signing and trade, he'll gone back on all of the words he just put on his introduction. Something to think about. Something to observe. I'm only half listening all the time when it comes to what these guys are saying in the organization, but I'm always watching. I'm always watching how they're moving, the decisions they make, and the ones they don't make. You guys forget when they started this season, it was addition by subtraction around these parts. People wanted to get rid of friggin' Tyreek Hill. He was the best player. Tyreek Hill injured is the best player on this team still. I don't know. Achan's fucking pretty damn good. So is Brooks. But you get my point. A healthy Tyreek Hill is the best player on this football team. No cap. No, that's cap. We need QB, and Achan gets us capital we need. Come on, Cap. We need a QB. Are the Dolphins a QB away right now? Now, look, I'm not going to say we can't catch lightning in a bottle, right? You catch lightning in a bottle, and you could turn around, and we could be the Colts next year. We bring in the Daniel Jones flavor of the month, the Reformation Project. You know what? I'll be honest too. The NFL is rewriting these Reformation projects every year. Look at fucking Seattle right now with the dude seeing ghosts. They're going to be seeing an NFC Championship game. I'm just saying, boys. Night Wolf, when you say we don't have to pay him anything, I get that. Like, he's not going to be expensive, but he's going to want mills. He's going to want monies. And what to help? Okay. Is Malik Willis coming to the Miami Dolphins to help install their system? Because their head coach is a DC. Who's going to be our OC? Where are we getting our offensive coordinator from? Who's it going to be? I doubt he comes from the Packers. No bullshit. The Packers are notorious for not letting their assistants and people go. They just don't. They just really doesn't have. There's almost this like unspoken agreement that, hey, John Eric Sullivan, good luck. Jeff Hafley, good luck. No more. Are we just going to start cherry picking all them boys? I don't know. Fine, go get Malik Willis. What if he wins too many games? You know what I'm saying. Malik Willis ain't going to be our future from 2026 and on. Maybe. I think not. I think Daniel Jones ain't going to be the fucking future of the Colts either. I think they're going to pay him, and they're going to be in the second year of it and be getting rid of him and regretting it. I'm not saying that that'll be us and Malik Willis. Maybe he does something great. But I'm pretty sure if he was something great, someone would already have him sign it. He wouldn't be hitting the open free agent market now, would he? See what I'm saying? These are things to consider, Dolphins fans. A lot. Yeah, I remember Matt Flynn. I wanted Matt Flynn. So did Joe Philbin. Joe Philbin wanted him. Well, actually, that's not true. Joe Philbin did want him. Dolphins fans wanted him. He ended up going to, where did he end up going? Was it the Vikings? I think he went to the Vikings, and like he didn't work out, and then they got Ponder. Just because Malik Willis is working good for the Packers and we get the Packers GM in DC does not automatically mean it'll work here. Now, okay. Now we're going to play conspiracy, Capitan. If they are buying, purchasing, navigating for what is necessary to happen here in Miami, what I believe to be an inevitability, something that could help reload this team and put us back at least in a better position to then work from the ground up. That would be to tank next year. And I mean tank it into the fucking dirt. In which case, our general manager is hired. He grabs a couple of building blocks. He gets his his Christian Wilkins, his Robert Hunt, his douchebag McGee, maybe a new kicker, a couple little sprinkles of this. We don't do free agent. We re-sign one or two of the guys, but we trade some assets. He brings in his homeboy. He says, yo, Hafley, not a good situation, but I'm going to get you a 4-year contract that you're going to get all guaranteed money, but you're only going to have to live through this shit 1 year. Come in, get us the top pick. We'll reassess and see if we can build it. Don't worry. You're like, I'm going to bring in Malik Willis. He's going to come in here and make sure we don't win more than 4 games. Are they fixed deck to not get hurt? There's no meeting on a yacht for this plan. We already got the boys in the back. We're talking football stuff in here, NFL, not tanking stuff. That's against the rules. I don't know. If it ultimately came out that the Dolphins did do something like that and we're looking at a 4-win or less season and Hafley's getting fired and Malik Willis was here and signed a 3-year deal, but obviously he ain't the guy. He went down with injury and, we're just a spiraling mess. But Dolphins have a top 3, 4, number 1 pick even with a hefty draft class coming out next year. Fire Hafley. You go, hey, I need a new coach. We got some talent. We got a top pick. We need an OC. Maybe Hafley sticks out. I don't know. Maybe they love him. Maybe Hafley is so secure that he can tank the team for a year and knows it ain't going to cost him his job because his boy be running it. He's going to buy him 2 years. Minimum. Actually, let's be real. These guys get 3 years. I can't remember the last time the Dolphins hired a coach 1 year, failed, and fired him. It looked like they were going to do that to Brian Flores until Brian Flores found out about it and said, not on my fucking watch. I'm going to take these Walmart baggers and fucking win enough games. You have to keep me. I believe that's what they were doing. I have no proof. But I remember everything that was happening those days, how it was hired, the sentiment, everything. I was like, they're just bringing this guy in for the shit tank season so they can secure the top pick and get Tua. Well, they still got Tua, and he won enough games to not just – it was respectable to see what he did as far as scheming up and how he won games. It was respectable, except for that Bengals win. That Bengals win still haunts me. I don't know, guys, but we're going to be seeing some more movement. Finalizing of the deal will be done tomorrow, and then we'll see coaches. Like, we're going to start seeing coaches. Bye. We're going to keep this D-line coach. We're going to keep this guy. We're going to keep that guy. But bye. A lot of defensive dudes changing. Offensive guys, I don't know. Does he keep some of these offensive guys? How much is the scheme going to change? How well does he know any of these dudes? Who knows who? Am I bringing in this new OC to be my OC? But we're going to keep Frank Smith because he knows him. Hey, Darren Bevel, you up fuck out of here. Whatever. I don't know. But a lot of that's going to be happening. Then we'll see what kind of moves the upper management takes. And then it's right on to fucking pro days and drafts. It's over. College football done. NFL and playoffs and Super Bowls coming, but boom, we right back in it. We have a lot to talk about. Make sure you guys are here at the Fins Tailgate, hanging out and talking with us about it. Hit the like button, subscribe. I appreciate y'all coming through tonight. Shout out to everybody in chat. Salute everyone in chat coming through. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to share the show. Comment after the videos. I see you guys. You guys got a lot of questions. Got things you want me to respond to. After the video is over, put your comments in. I'm able to read them and go through them and actually give a little bit more dialogue. So I'll see you guys. Fins up.